When you discontinue watching this video, please tell me what the reason was so that I can improve. Otherwise, hi and welcome. I am trying to learn Biographyology. Today, St. Nicholas of Myra, and after we've done it, we're going to do shoulder impingement training. And if you participate in the shoulder impingement training, then it's better at your own risk. But before we're doing that, here was something written about the place where St. Nicholas of Myra was, and that was in Minor Asia. And here was when written somewhere that it is or was Turkey. And I want to have this information in one video set. So we are preparing now to say that. Where was this information? Here. Profile. Bishop from Asia Minor, present-day Turkey. Is that enough? I think I once heard that Greek is also the same. Okay, we're going to skip that part until we have a bigger explanation where now Asia Minor is. Maybe it's more than Turkey or Greek or something. But that is the reason. We need to for this video. So he was the Bishop of Asia Minor, and that is the region of today Turkey. Okay, St. Nicholas of Myra. The feast day is the 6th December, and he is represented in art through 3 bags of gold, meter, cloister, and anchor. We're going to say at least the thing with the patronage. Patronage of children, sailors, merchants, brides, pawnbrokers, I don't know what it is, perfumers, Russia, Netherlands, Greece, and Sicily. Okay, of children, sailors, and merchants. Brides and pawnbrokers, perfumers, Russia, Netherlands, Greece, and Sicily. Russia, Netherlands, Greece, and Sicily. Okay, I try to list as much as I can. Now, what are we doing here? I try to gather the information together, which we have in this page here, and prepare out of it a presentation, which I will record in a separate video, but I have to do it from memory. So that is why we're trying to memorize these things. And profile. Bishop of Asia Minor of Turkey, and it is also the person identified with being Santa Claus. After the Virgin Mary, this Greek bishop from Asia Minor was the most venerated and colorful saint in all of Christendom. In England alone, some 400 churches were dedicated to him, and there are more artistic representations of Nicholas than of any other saint. Maybe we're gonna say that there are more than 400 churches in his honor. Yet, as with many of the early saints, little is known for sure about his life, although plenty of rich myth turned what is thought to have been a holy man, prepared to suffer persecution for the truth of orthodoxy, into a kindly, avuncular figure who bestows gifts on children and saves those in peril by miraculous interventions. So he lived in the 4th century, and he was prepared to die the death of a martyr for his Christian belief. Over the time, many people have made myths to the person St. Nicholas of Myra, which then ended up to being more or less the other story. The common image of Nicholas depicted as an old man may be grounded in the tradition that he was one of a few saints to escape martyrdom and to die naturally of old age at his cathedral. A fictionist biography by Methodists in the 9th century created much of the myth of St. Nicholas that made him so popular in the West. When Seljuk Muslims overran Asia Minor and sailors brought his relics to Bari in southern Italy, in 1087, a fanfare inauguration blessed by Pope Urban II sealed his fame. It was reputed that from his shrine the soothing fragrance of myrrh wafted over the poor quarters of Bari, hence his patronage of perfumers. Pilgrims came in droves. There was a time in the Middle Ages when his shrine was one of the most visited in all of Europe. Okay, we have where he lived. He lived there around 400. He did not die as he was prepared to do as a martyr, and of all age. That is maybe the reason why he's depicted with a longer and a grey-brown beard. And around the year 1000, and also when the First Crusade started through Pope Urban II, but that's another story. His relics were taken from Asia Minor over to Bari in Italy, and that place became a place of pilgrimage for many pilgrims. Santa Claus. Perhaps the most popular development of his... So we're going to talk a bit about it, and it goes... Perhaps the most popular development of his cult is the institution of Santa Claus. Its origin lay in the Netherlands, where the feast of Saint Nicholas, or Sinterklaas, was celebrated and presents were given to children. When migrating Dutch Protestants transported the custom to New Amsterdam, which is today New York, in the United States, in the 17th century, Nordic folklore about the pagan god Thor was added. A magician riding a chariot drawn by reindeer would visit homes to punish naughty children and reward the good with presents. Okay, we're gonna say that. What do we say to it? In the Netherlands, there are some people who one called him Sinterklaas, and who one said that he was riding a chariot drawn by reindeers, and that he would visit children to punish the bad and reward the good. A world of legend and confusion. Many of the legends of Saint Nicholas stem back to his first biography, the story of 3 girls whom he saved from prostitution by throwing 3 bags of gold to them through an open window became the basis for Santa Claus Largesse, I don't know the word, as well as the symbol of 3 gold balls adopted by pawnbrokers to signify their patronage. A painting of this story was misinterpreted. The bags of money were thought to be children's heads and gave rise to the idea that he restored the life of 3 murdered children hidden in a brine tub. I don't know what a brine tub is. Distressed sailors off the coast of Turkey have also been the lucky beneficiaries of Saint Nicholas' power to save souls. Okay, and it is also said that he... Okay, we're going to have 3 things which are then said about him, or at least 2. So one thing is then that we're going to say that he saved sailors off the coast of Turkey, and the other 2 things is that people in the Netherlands had said about him that they called him Santa Claus, and that he was bringing presents to children. And that probably goes back to his first biography, to a story in which is told that he was giving to 3 children, to 3 girls, money so that they don't have to fall to prostitution. Okay, we have informations, more or less, I hope I have them. I'm going to start the second camera and then try to say at least the matrix. Saint Nicholas of Saint Nicholas of Myra. He lived in the 4th century after Christ, and he was the bishop of Asia Minor, which is where Turkey is. And he's the patronage of children and of pawnbrokers, of perfumers, of Russia, of the Netherlands, Greek and Sicily, and also of sailors. Now, and he was the bishop there, and when he lived, he was prepared to die for his faith, for his Christian faith, as a martyr, but he actually lived on and died a natural death, at old age. And that is why he is depicted with a grey or white beard. Now, and then after his death, 700 years later, when the region where his relics were in Turkey, that region became then governed by Muslim people, so the sailors brought his relics to Italy, to Bari, and then that place became a pilgrimage place for people visiting now in Bari and Italy the relics of Saint Nicholas. And it is said that he saved sailors off the coast of Turkey. That is why he is the patronage of sailors. Now, people in the Netherlands at some time called him Sinterklaas, and they said that he was bringing gifts to children. And there is a story, and that story says that at one time he was giving to 3 girls money so that they don't have to become prostitutes, that they had money to buy food. Now, and that is according to Malcolm Day's The Treasury of Saints on the page 16 and 17. I'm going to stop the second camera. And that was the Biographyology part. If you were here for Biographyology, You can go directly to the next part of Biographyology. If you stay here and participate in the shoulder impingement training, then it's better at your own risk. We're having good and stable standing legs, and we're doing shoulder circles. Back on back, up, in front, and down. Again, back, front, down. Backwards now, up, high, back, down, and another round, in front, up, back, and down. Now, long arms and strong fists. Go as far back as you can with the shoulders. High up, in front, and down. Again, back, up, front, down. Now, backwards up, back, down, front, up, back, down. Now have the legs standing wide apart. Go a bit down into the knees, hinge forward with a straight back, let the arms hang, and pinch the scapulas together with effort. Now make fists, lift the arms up, and pinch the scapulas together. Now make a round back and make the hands to fists, turn the arms to the inside, and lift the arms high up and bring them together. Now straighten slowly up, bring the shoulders down, press the shoulder blades into the ribcage down, and together, and that is the exercise. So the arms high up, and together, shoulders down, and together. Arms up together, shoulders down, and together. And gradually release. Next exercise. Legs a bit closer together, a bit more than shoulder width wide apart. Long arms with strong fists, and bring the shoulders back and together. Turn the arms to the inside. Shoulders down and together, arms to the inside. Arms back, shoulders down and together. Arms to the inside, shoulders down and together. Arms again back, shoulders down and gradually release. Arms to the side, the fists a bit in front, and the arms in front, shoulders down and together. Arms back, shoulders up and in front. Arms in front, shoulders down and together. And the last time, arms back, shoulders up and in front. And gradually release. Now, lift the arms up. If this or any other exercise causes pain, then don't do it. Lift the shoulders up and all slowly down again. Again, the arms up, shoulders up, and all down. One more time. Arms up, shoulders up, and all down. Now the arms to the side, and bring the arms in front, and the shoulders to the outside of the ribcage, and arms back, and the shoulder blades together. Arms again in front, and the shoulder blades to the outside of the ribcage, arms to the side, and shoulder blades together. And release. And now the arms together, a bit down into the outside, again down into the inside. And one exercise more before stretching. Take a soccer t-shirt or something with a long arm at the outside, let it fall down, and try to catch it again. And on the outside, let it fall down, and try to catch it again. Now take one arm and bring it in front. The shoulder is back and down. Pull the arm in, have flat fingers. Try to relax the arm. Go a bit back with the shoulder and turn the palm up to the sky. And the other arm. Pull the arm in, shoulder back and down. Pull the arm in, have flat fingers. Relax the arm, go a bit back with the shoulder, and turn the palm up to the sky. And that was the shoulder impingement training. I thank you very much, and until next time.